I have something I need to tell you. I just got done with a live streaming video about journaling. And the ridiculous thing is, I have been teaching writing and journaling and everything there is you can possibly do with storytelling for more than 25 years, 2 decades. I've been doing this longer than my son has been alive. And I was scared to death. Well, not that far, but I was really scared to go live and share with people something that I do really well. Why did I resist it for so long? And then I realized that the resistance wasn't about whether I could do it or whether I'm good at it or whether any of that 25 years of doing this work was worth something. This block or this resistance toward live streaming about journaling was more about the process. Resistance is sometimes a part of a process. It is not the end of the road. It's simply a part of the road or part of the adventure. So if you are interested in journaling and have never gotten to it, or don't think it's for you, or am afraid to even investigate because of any assorted reasons, this video is for you. And I was so thrilled with the intrepid people who showed up last night and put their trust into me and their trust into themselves as we spent an hour journaling, talking, sharing, growing. Nothing short of a miracle. This video, you're going to get a quick yet in-depth recap, as well as the prompts we went through. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If this sounds interesting to you at all, I hope that you will subscribe to this channel if you're not already. You could watch the whole video from last night. Maybe you're a returnee from last night because you were tired and didn't quite have it in you to write to the prompts then. Either way, whatever the situation is, I am thrilled that you're here, and let's get into our journaling. Maybe that nervousness and fear of resistance was not so much as being scared as it is that I care. I care about the people who are trusting themselves to me as a leader. And yeah, I have taught these strategies, these practices for more than 25 years. I have taught live workshops. I've taught in hospitals. I've taught in college campuses. I've taught online. I have taught over the telephone. I have taught in one-to-one coaching. I've taught in groups. I could go on and on and on, but I've never taught on YouTube Live before. I've never taught in this way on a vertical video. I had no idea how people were going to take it. All I knew was I gave myself a lot of undue pressure to excel because I care. And so I think that caring was so strong that it kind of held me back until I hit that red button and I went with what I had, which was so far from imperfect. In fact, I made mistakes right from the get-go. I had a plan and I partially went by the plan, but I forgot to give some wisdom about stream of consciousness writing. I forgot to take some deep breaths before we leaped into the prompts. It's just perfect. So if you feel like you want to journal or want to do a different kind of journaling or have been concerned or afraid of journaling, know that it's because you care. You care. And tonight, some people got some freedom they never had before and are on their way to journaling more or journaling differently. So let's talk about that. What would you write about? What would you journal about if there was no way or no reason that anyone would judge you? I said tonight that when you get a prompt or a question like that, I'm not asking you to jump right into it. I'm asking you to hear the question and then kind of put it in the back of your head, because your subconscious mind will be digging around in there. You don't have to do anything. It's working on it for you. And the second thing is when we journal with writing, with free flow writing, is you're writing stream of consciousness style or free flow style where you're not thinking. And one of the people brought up, I couldn't think, I can't think. And that's kind of the point with journaling. The point with journaling is to not think, is to, I sometimes will say, follow the tip of your pencil. And so when you receive a prompt or when you hear a prompt, you could even just write the couple or three key words from the prompt over and over for 3 minutes. That's fine, because you're setting the words in motion. And as you do this process more and more, you will learn to trust the pencil, trust the pen, trust the fingers on the keyboard, trust your device. Because some of you, yes, we gave permission for you to use your devices. Every day I write good morning love for my Facebook people. Every day, or I would say probably at least half of the time, I write that, which is a morning writing practice. It's kind of journaling that I do, is good morning love. And half the time, maybe even more, I write it on my phone. We all have different starting places. And if that's where you feel most comfortable now, great, start your journaling there. You have permission. It's more important to me that you get started, because when you journal, when you experience that kind of freedom, when you allow yourself to push through any resistance, that's such a gift to you and to your future. What would you journal? What would you write about if you knew there would be no judgment? Put that in the back of your head. We'll come back to it at some point this week. There are no journal police. Years ago, when I was doing morning pages, which is 3 pages of free flow writing every day in the early morning, something made up with Julia Cameron in her book, The Artist's Way. And one of the first things I wrote, or within the first month of doing morning pages every day, I wrote a poem called Ode to the Morning Page Police, because I felt like there's police looking over my shoulder. Am I getting this right? Am I doing this right? There's none of that. So I just want to speak to some of the qualities that we encountered last night to see if you fit in any of those. And if you don't, that's okay too. But I just want to let you know that none of us are perfect. Heck, how long did it take me to actually do this from the time that I got serious with it on YouTube when writing was my thing? Okay, so one example is if you have issues with focus or you have ADHD. One of the things I suggested is to do your video with your voice. Yes, make a video. One of the things that I do is I make a video and then I have YouTube transcribe it. I keep it on unlisted or whatever. I have YouTube do the transcription. This is an example of when I actually use AI. I don't use it very often, but I would plug the transcript into ChatGPT or whatever AI that I would choose to use. And I would say, please put this into essay form. If it will help you gain clarity, it will help you gain clarity. And you can start off with speaking or journaling. The other thing is, if you have issues with focus, maybe due to other reasons, maybe if you're grieving, write 1 sentence. 1 sentence can be enough. Write for 2 minutes. 2 minutes can be enough. Speak for 2 minutes. That can be enough. It is your starting line. You might say, I've wanted to journal for years, but I never knew how, or I just never did. That's totally okay here too. There's no starting line that you missed if you haven't started until now. For those who are grieving, I've spent most of my adult life grieving. I had my first major loss at 28. And after that, it seemed like the losses never stopped coming. A part of me says the reason why I've had so much grief is because I've loved so hard and so well. You love people, you lose people. And when you journal, it doesn't have to be all about the sadness. I just want to give you permission to not journal about the sadness, but to journal memories, to journal concrete things, to look at photos and relive that moment. Have a piece of clothing, smell that clothing, wear that clothing, and write about that experience. That's just a start. But for the grievers out there, it is one of the most vulnerable, potent times for creative process. And I hope that you will embrace whatever comes up. We'll be talking more about that, I'm sure, this week. So here's another prompt that we did not have during the session, but I would like for you again, pick this up, put it in the back of your head. What is one rule that you've had about journaling? And what will you do to break it? The primary theme of tonight's session was to trust yourself and trust the process. So how do you put yourself on the trust scale? Where do you fit on how well you trust yourself and how well you trust other people and how well you trust your position in the creative practice or creative process? This gives you a chance to really think about that. I talked about closing the loop, which is like when you say you're going to do something and then you follow through and do it. If you say you're going to journal, you can start with a lower threshold. I'm going to journal. I'm going to write one sentence. At the end of our process, the end of the journaling time, we did a gratitude, I'm trying to think what we call them, we ended with a lot of gratitude. So everybody wrote a bit of gratitude lists. And gratitude journaling is one of the great journals to start with, or one of the great journal practices to start with, because thankfully it's fairly easy. And you have that prompt. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. That might be where you start this time, and that would be wonderful. The other thing is, as you grow this week from journaling with us, you will learn to trust yourself more. As you keep showing up, whether this is Friday and it's the first day or it's 3 months from now, today is your first day. No matter when it comes. That's exciting news. You can grow from here. And when you trust your process, if what you write today is one sentence, that's perfect. That's your starting point. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't even concern yourself with what other people are doing, except for to offer love and hope and affirmations. All those are all well and good. Including for me. Remember, I was scared. I was scared to do this. And I did it. I trusted myself with my knees knocking. All that 25 years of experience didn't really matter tonight when I hit that red button. Oh, I'm so grateful that I'm here and that we did this together. Okay. In the description, there is a list of the prompts that we wrote from today. Your invitation is to take 5 minutes to write to one of those prompts. If you feel like going crazy and writing to more than one, great. I was really bad with writing some of these prompts. I was too wordy. So if you were with us last night, you might say, hey, wait, these aren't the same prompts we got. They're close enough. So put this on pause, set your timer for 5 minutes, scoop up a prompt, and write 5 minutes. You made it back. One of the things I said on the live stream was that after we were done, I was going to have a beer to relax and to just celebrate a little bit. I don't drink beer very often, but I knew that I would be really excited to spend this time. So I just want to say thank you to you, all of you who were there live and who are here now. Last night, people were incredibly vulnerable with their sharing. People were connected. People were expressing themselves in ways that honored and delighted me to see. And of course, I cried. Of course, at the end, I cried. At the beginning of this video, I talked about you have permission. Permission to fail, permission to succeed, permission to journal differently. So I would like to know from you, what would you write? What would you journal if you gave yourself 100% permission to go for it? Even if you fall flat on your face, even if you make a gajillion mistakes, as I do. And if you can't journal now, journal it later. Let it spin around in your head for a while, but just go on with your life. Maybe drink a beer. Unless it's not something you can do. In other cases, if alcohol is something you can't do, have a chocolate shake. I talked about chocolate bar. I didn't have a chocolate bar today, but I wanted one. have a nice tall glass of water. Maybe go for a walk. I hope you'll write, and I hope you'll come back. And I am perpetually grateful that you're here in my presence. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.